happy holidays and welcome to another edition of ERB Reviews. Today we're taking a look at the Yongnuo, if that's how you say it, RF-603 ends. Now these are wireless flash triggers and they're also shutter triggers. So one of the reasons why I picked these up was because I was looking for some inexpensive flash triggers for my Nikon D90. And that's a medium format camera. And if you are looking for a flash trigger, you also get a shutter trigger, kind of a mouthful there, built into one. So taking a look at these right out of the box, you get the two transceivers, as they call them, and you also get the necessary cable here to sync for the shutter release to your Nikon D90. Now this camera does, this particular triggers, I should say, rather, comes in different models. So there are various transceivers for different makes of the Nikon. So this one is for the Nikon D90, and I believe it also supports the 3100, the 5000, and the D7000. So these particular ones were $30. I picked them up on Amazon, and I thought it would be worth taking a look at them because I really scouted around for some inexpensive triggers, and these really seem to do the trick. Also worth noting, in the battery pack there are dip switches. So in the back down here, you can actually get in there and you can program different remote codes if you need to, if you have multiple triggers. So in the box, you get the two transceivers. You get the shutter cable, as I pointed out, that plugs into the side of your D90. And just take a quick look here. You have the shutter button here. So if you're using it as a shutter remote, you also have a female and male hot shoe and both of these. So when you put one in the flash shoe, you actually can put the remote trigger right on top of it, or if you're putting it in the stand, all kinds of configurations. So again, for $30, I really don't see how you can beat it. They are radio triggers, so they work off a 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, and it kind of has it on there right on the front. You also have a on-off switch here on the top, which could be a little bit funky. I think maybe they could have put that on the side, because once you get this mounted into the shoe of a light stand and then you get your flash in there, it can be a little bit tricky to get to if you want to maybe turn them off while you take a break or something, and you don't want to kill the batteries. What I also like about them is they do use, you may have just seen before, just standard AAA batteries. Two AAA batteries, very easy to carry with you if you do need to. Now in the back here, there's also what I'm assuming, quite honestly, is an antenna port. That's what it looks like to me. And if I'm wrong, feel free to write in and make fun of me. I don't plan to know everything, but I believe to me that looks like it's an antenna port if you want to increase the range of these. So you really do get a lot of functionality for $30 out of these things. You get the flash trigger, you get the shutter trigger, you got some, looks like some type of antenna port on there, and you also get the male and female shoes on each side of the well-designed device, as they like to call them, as transceivers. So without further ado, let me just show you quickly how these kind of work. So here I have a SB600 flash from Nikon, nothing super fancy. Hopefully you're using a bit of a better flash, but this one serves my purpose as well. And again, they can mount, they can slide in here, leaving the male version free if you wanted to slide this into a light stand here. Now also, when you turn the power switch on, you do get a green LED letting you know you have power. And also when you turn both of them on, so you have both of them on, and when they are mounted in the flash, you'll actually get the other side of the light will give you an indication that it's also ready to work as well. So let me show you how the shutter feature works first. Taking this here, you can just slide it into the shoe of your camera. Now, if you're going to use this as just a shutter release, you can plug this cable in here into the side of your Nikon D90. As I said before, that's what I'm shooting with here. Maybe a little bit different for your camera. And then it plugs right in the side there. So you can kind of get a good view. It's really nothing to it. So now this is set up as a, it is already set up as a shutter release. There's nothing to do. I don't have to program the camera to do anything. So I'm just going to turn the camera on. The camera is actually on. And now there's two things you can do here. You can take this off the camera and you can use this as a shutter release if you're standing near the camera, just by pressing the button. And also probably worth noting, what I think is pretty cool is that you can half press this button. And again, I've never owned, I've had the remote trigger from Nikon, but I've never owned a wired one like this. But you can half press it and you can focus without taking a shot. And then when you fully depress, it actually will then open the shutter. Now, if you choose that you want to have a true remote experience, you can just put this back in the hot shoe. Again, that is not necessary. You can leave this off the camera. But what's neat is you can take the other transceiver and you can walk away, and I'm actually pushing the button as I'm sitting here talking, and then I'm taking a picture. So I just mounted it up here in the shoe to kind of get it off the table here so that it doesn't get damaged. So if you'll notice here, you'll see the little LEDs down here. And when you kind of take a picture, it'll flash red indicating that in fact you've taken a picture. So that's kind of very simplistically how the shutter piece of it works. I mean, it's not rocket science. I think I really just wanted to demonstrate the fact that it really was plug and play right out of the box. And quite honestly, I just discovered the shutter function. I've really just been using them for the last week as flash remotes, which has been just as easy to use. So again, with the transceivers on, sliding this into the shoe here, if I can make that happen, and then sliding the other one into the shoe. And I'll tell you just a little trick, make sure the switch is on. Otherwise, I assembled my whole light stand the other day and I had everything, and then I kind of had to reach in there with my finger. So this is what I was saying before. Now that this is in the actual flash, you can see it's kind of hard to get your finger in there if you wanted to power on and off the remote. I mean, it's doable, don't get me wrong. I kind of have big hands, but if you have smaller hands or even a little pen or something, you can reach in there. And it's probably not necessary. You really can. So as far as a design flaw, it really doesn't hinder much. But I guess for $30, I had to pick on it a little bit because I'm just quite impressed that I got this much functionality out of a $30 device. So again, turn your flash on. Mine's in manual mode at half power. Now, I don't want to flash it here because you're going to get some serious lens flare into the camera. But just to give you an idea on the setup, that's how pretty simple it is. Right in the hot shoe, set your flash up on manual mode, slide it on, power it up, and you should be ready to go. Now, the only thing I don't think works is you can't do a flash test from the camera. So I just pushed the remote on top of the transceiver that's mounted into the camera to see if I could trigger a test flash, and that doesn't work. So, and that could just be my user error. I'm not really sure if that's really supposed to be a function you're supposed to be able to do, but I thought I'd just kind of point that out. But if you do have it in there and you're ready to take a picture, you should be able to just be ready to go, and they will just flash just like that. So again, nothing special. I haven't set anything up in commander mode on the back of the menu of the D90. Literally just put this in a shoe, set my flash to manual mode, and it was basically off to the races. So again, that is the Yongnuo RF-603N. Picked it up on Amazon for $30. Actually had Amazon Prime, so I had it here in about a day and a half from the day I ordered, and I so far would highly recommend them. If you're looking for a simplistic transceiver setup, I think this is your ticket if you're shooting on a budget. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a safe and happy holidays, and look forward to seeing you next time around. Take care.